Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Traffic once again flowing through some streets in downtown Northville that have been shut down since the pandemic. Some are celebrating, others say they prefer it when it was just foot traffic. So thanks so much for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Midnight tonight was the deadline set by a judge for the reopening of the parts of Main and Center Streets that had been closed off with concrete bollards. J. Scott Smith has spent the day talking with people on both sides of this continuing debate over the future of the downtown area. Jay.
Yes, good evening, everybody. And here we are. As you can clearly see, the traffic is now once again moving along Center and Main Streets here in downtown Northville. And this also, of course, it comes at a time where the debate over this got extremely contentious.
Tuesday morning in downtown Northville along Main and Center Streets was lively. It's something that the city's Mayor Brian Turnbull loves to see.
We have shut down our streets for dances and music since the 1800s.
The thing is, the streets were actually open today, thanks to a judge's order that came down last Wednesday, putting an end to the closed streets that have been the norm since 2020.
Right now, we will make sure that we adhere to the judge's order.
A small town of about 6,000 people that straddles Wayne and Oakland counties has a popular walkable downtown, but the street closures, which became a thing during the pandemic, had caused division with residents and the business owners.
Closing the streets to me really was only a negative in terms of day-to-day.
Steve Pecan is one of the supporters of the group Let's Open Northville. He was thrilled to see traffic rolling through the streets this morning.
Streets were dead during most of the week, and it got really busy during the weekends. Restaurants benefited. Unfortunately, businesses suffered.
On the other hand, Christy Wysocki, along with her sister Danny, were handing out community over cars signs.
Countless families, this area has meant so much to them.
This organically became a third place for our children, for the community, for businesses, and we don't want that third place to go away.
Michelle Lucier has owned Table 5 on Main Street since 2008, and while she understands the reason people wanted the streets reopened, she supports the closure.
I think that you'll see less traffic down here now because there isn't, that same open space for people to just hang out in. I just don't think it'll be give it the same feel.
And you see here, these are some of the concrete barricades that have been erected for the last 5 years that set up the tables for people to be able to eat outside. And that's something that people are still doing out here, by the way. And these streets are still going to close occasionally for special events and parades, but this is not a closed up issue. Coming up a little bit later on this evening, in fact, at 6:30, they're going to be having a city council meeting about this to discuss just how long, if these streets will remain open, and when that could possibly change. We're live in downtown Northville. I'm J. Scott Smith for Local 4.
And we'll be following that meeting. Okay, Jay, thank you.
In less than an hour, the city of Dearborn may make the decision to ban Airbnbs in residential neighborhoods. The short-term rentals could end up restricted to just 2 areas of downtown. Victor Williams following this story for us tonight ahead of tonight's city council meeting. Victor, what'd you find out?
Well, hey there, Ty. First off, we know that there are only about 50 to 70 of these short-term rentals right here in the city of Dearborn, but even still, city officials are deciding or hoping to potentially ban them in residential areas. All that's going to be decided right here within the doors of City Hall when that vote is going to take place right at 7. Now, if this new ordinance passes, that means that short-term rentals will be much more regulated to the point that Airbnbs and Verbos will not be allowed in residential areas. This goes for full or partial units. In the past, Dearborn residents have complained about some of these properties being a nuisance with loud partygoers at times, but this vote is also to protect residents from housing shortages in this time of rising costs. Now, some truly believe that a permanent family could be better for the neighborhood, not just a bunch of people potentially coming and going. Now, if this does go into effect, these short-term rentals will only be allowed in the East and West Downtown District starting October the 27th. Now, only one short-term rental will be allowed per parcel or condo. We know that both sides are going to feel very strong about that. We can imagine those who have offered their homes up to Airbnb for money won't be happy knowing that this can potentially affect their income, while long-term residents will be happy to have something like this a little bit more peaceful in their neighborhood. So whatever is decided, we of course are going to have the outcome for you tonight at 11 p.m. Live in Dearborn, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Yeah, it's going to be really strong emotions on both sides. Victor, thank you.
The Department of Education says it is investigating the University of Michigan regarding the school's foreign funding. That decision comes after 2 different smuggling cases involving scientific fungi and viruses. The agency says those cases raise concerns about U of M's vulnerability to national security threats from China. In a statement, the chief investigative counsel for the department says, quote, despite the University of Michigan's history of downplaying its vulnerabilities to malign foreign influence, recent reports reveal that U of M's research laboratories remain vulnerable to sabotage, end quote. The university has been told it has 30 days to hand over tax records related to foreign funding.
Jennifer Crumbley's request to be released on bond during her appeal has been denied by the Michigan Supreme Court. The decision upholds a previous ruling by the Michigan Court of Appeals. Crumbley, convicted of involuntary manslaughter in the Oxford High School shooting, will stay in prison. The shooter is her son, who is serving life without parole. He is also appealing.
A big shift of gears at General Motors' Orion Assembly Plant. The plant has been at the center of GM's electric vehicle efforts in recent years, getting nearly $500 million in grants for expansion to accommodate the building of EVs. But the company confirming today no electric vehicles will be built there in the year 2027. Instead, it will be the Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Silverado, and GMC Sierra light-duty pickups. In a statement, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer says, quote, today's product announcement in Lake Orion will bring production of some of GM's most popular and profitable vehicles, a sign of the long-term viability of this investment in Michigan. This is just the latest example of the progress we're making to create good-paying union auto jobs and grow the economy. We don't care what you drive, gas, diesel, hybrid, or electric, as long as it's made in Michigan.
The case against a Toledo man accused of scamming an elderly Macomb couple out of tens of thousands of dollars has now been turned over to the FBI. This is a story we first told you about in May, when Vedant Kumar Patel was charged with larceny and false pretenses. Here's what he's accused of doing. The Macomb County prosecutor says Patel, who was in the U.S. from India on a student visa, told a Shelby Township couple that their card had been used to purchase child pornography. He also told them the only way to stop the charge from going through was to withdraw $50,000 and give it to him. The case has now been dismissed at the local level since being turned over to the FBI. At the time of the charges, Patel was under federal investigation for 2 other cases involving senior citizen scams.
A controversy is unfolding at the Red Run Drain in Madison Heights, with the state now intervening. They've warned Oakland County if there's any more raw sewage found in the water, they could face fines or penalties. The warning stems from a dispute between Macomb and Oakland counties. The debate is not about the sewage itself, but its destination and management. This comes after Macomb County's Public Works Commissioner Candace Miller accused Oakland County of deliberately dumping raw sewage. Oakland County says they have no alternative to prevent basement backups. Now, with the state stepping in, Macomb County sees this as a victory.
Fortunately, Eagle, the state regulators, are going to be doing their job and regulate what is clearly a violation of the Clean Water Act.
Again, finger pointing is unproductive, and Oakland County does not do that. We'd rather be at the table, have a seat at the table, and work together with our partners.
Oakland County is requesting a meeting with Eagle about the notice, but no date has been set.
Well, it's been an eventful Go For It today based around teaching people the basics of first aid.
Dr. Frank McGeorge has been helping lead those classes over at U of M Dearborn. Joins us live to wrap up the day. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Ty and Kimberly. Yeah, you know, this has actually been a really interesting day and exceptionally broad as far as the classes go, highlighting a number of different skills. But I should say the Red Cross does offer a number of specific in-person classes, and I'm joined here by Tracy Fox from the Red Cross. And so, Tracy, tell me a little bit about some of those offerings.
Sure. We really have an unmatched breadth and depth to our classes. As you mentioned, we have in-person certification classes for things like first aid, CPR, AED usage. We also have online classes. We have blended classes where we do some online and some in person, and everything to meet the needs of your average person, as well as advanced life-saving professionals like EMT, firefighter, and even nurses and doctors.
That's a lot of great options. Now, if someone either isn't able to take an in-person class or they just maybe want a quick refresher, there's another option. Tell me about the Red Cross app.
We've got a free Red Cross app available. It's under the Red Cross First Aid app. It's got all of the great tips you need to prepare for emergencies, what to do in an emergency. If you're traveling, you don't know where the nearest hospital is, there's a feature called a hospital finder, and we've even got one for your pets too.
Pet first aid, who could ask for more? So, I want to say thanks to everyone who came out to learn vital skills that make our community safer. And of course, thanks to our volunteers and finally the Red Cross for making this Go Forward event such an incredible success. Back to you guys.
Another successful Go For It, Doc. Well done out there today. Appreciate it.
All right, let's see what's happening with our forecast here. Toronto's famous CN Tower, barely visible earlier today amongst all that smoke from wildfires in northern Ontario and parts of Canada's prairies.
That really puts it in perspective. This view is quite a bit better here in Detroit. You can actually see the buildings there where the smoke from those same wildfires has been slowly but surely clearing up.
But we are still under an air quality alert. Forewarned meteorologist Brett Collar tracking it all for us tonight. Hi, Brett.
Yeah, we still have some unhealthy air around, so that's something to keep in mind if you have plans to go out this evening. Maybe put the yard work off a couple of days because the air is still quite unhealthy across southeastern Michigan, prompting that air quality alert, which remains in effect for all of us for the rest of today. But conditions are expected to improve quite a bit by tomorrow morning, so some good news there. The issue then becomes a chance for showers and thunderstorms the next 2 days. It's also kind of hot out there, middle to upper 80s, a couple of degrees above where we should be this time of the year, and it's going to stay pretty toasty this evening. If you have any plans to be out, just be mindful of the fact that it is going to be somewhat sticky, and again, that air quality alert remains in effect. But the chance for showers and thunderstorms returns both tomorrow and Thursday, 2 separate rounds, and then we're talking about a cooling trend, not much, but a little bit. We'll talk about how low the thermometer will get coming up in just a bit.